A lot of Dark Souls fans know the phrase, Dark Souls doesn't hold your hand, and it's bloody true. The game makes you fail again and again and again and again in order to get better. Now that works, it's a genuinely effective and entertaining, engaging way to play a game. It's worked. They've had so many sequels, it's been going for ages. I think it's fun. But what if the problem isn't knowing how to win? What if the problem is knowing just how to play? If you've played Elden Ring, then you've almost definitely encountered a gameplay element that's confused you. Maybe it's a new mechanic, or a symbol that just straight up hasn't been explained. What if I told you that this confusion was a deliberate technique used by the developers and publishers to force you to create marketing for their game? Bloodborne was one of the most interesting games at the time. Basically, this Victorian-era monster hunter awakens every time he dies in this spiky, metal Victorian hell city where every monster's trying to kill you. It managed to explain the gameplay and rules simply just by the further you play, the further you go, the more monsters you encounter, the more that it gets explained. Now, there wasn't much to the game in general. It was basically hit, heavy hit, left hand, right hand, and that's kind of it. But that's where Bloodborne's different to Elden Ring. For Elden Ring, the developers, From Software, took the unforgiving difficulty that made Bloodborne and the Dark Souls games so famous and said, let's go open world. The thing about open world is that when the options of the player expand, so do the ways in which the player can fail. And we know why From Software did this. Marketing. A very specific type of marketing called earned media. When you get stuck, and I mean really stuck, in a video game nowadays, what do? You go to Google, you go to YouTube, you go to Reddit, you go to anywhere like that, and you try to find the answer. In the old days, what you do is you just chat to your friends, because I'm 31 and I'm really old. So what we would do in the old days is you'd speak to your friends and say, okay, here's how you find this answer, here's how you find this special weapon, and video games became this kind of community of, just tips and being shared. The thing about digital answers is that there's a kind of cause and effect mentality. If enough people start Googling things, then more people will start providing answers. It's supply and demand. The more people search YouTube for Elden Ring tips, the more people will make YouTube videos called Elden Ring tips. Now, with a game like Elden Ring, one that's supposed to be incredibly difficult, it doesn't take a genius to say that from the kind of publisher's mentality, they've got a marketing goldmine on their hands. A Reddit user by the name of Fuchsoft posted in the Elden Ring subreddit asking for help with icons that appear under the HP/FP bars. They couldn't find any explanation for what these symbols mean. Other users had the exact same problem, with the top comment being, yeah, there's absolutely no information on the entire internet for what these icons are, and forget the internet, there should be descriptions in-game of what these mean. Eventually, someone commented the link to a page of the Elden Ring wiki that explains all these symbols, and obviously that was very welcomed. However, all this only highlights how the developers deliberately excluded all this information from the game. And remember, this isn't about difficulty, this isn't a hard boss that they're just making more difficult by hiding information. No, these are gameplay elements, these are like legit bits of the game that you need to know how it works, nothing to do with skill. Someone even sarcastically commented, "You've obviously never played a Soulsborne game, being confused is the entire point," but then said, "In all seriousness, this is my first From Software game, and while I'm enjoying the core gameplay mechanics, but there's these obfuscated quality of life things that really detract from the experience. Like, am I supposed to need to look online at a wiki or guide to understand what's seemingly arbitrarily impacting my character in-game?" This kind of marketing where you're getting your customers, or anybody really, to create the marketing themselves is called earned media. It's been around for ages. It's the same thing as reviews, really. From a marketing point of view, it's the absolute jackpot, because remember, Bandai Namco, the publishers, they haven't paid all these YouTubers to make all these tip videos about Elden Ring. The YouTubers have been doing it themselves. In other words, the more difficult they make their game, the more earned media is created. And in other words, the more explanations that the game hides, the better the marketing results of the publisher. So here's an example of what happened to me. So a few hours into the game, I was loving it. I was killing so many bosses, all these zombie things, these knights in armor walking the map, so enjoying it. but I was hoping to use some magic. I'd chosen a Confessor class. I wanted to use some spells. I was so many hours in and I hadn't used any bloody spells yet. At one point I killed the Mad Pumpkinhead boss in Limgrave, the one that's kind of down those steps, and behind him I saw this door. Behind the door, I was very excited to see that there was a non-aggressive NPC. So I looked at her, saw that she was surrounded by crystals. So that said to me, yes, finally, I've encountered someone magic. I can, get some kind of magic spell from her or something. She offered me a thing called glintstone sorceries, which is a kind of type of spell. I obviously saved up some runes, purchased it. Happy days. But then, because Elden Ring doesn't hold your hand, I could not work out how to cast the spell. I tried every combination of putting it in this slot, that slot, holding the shield or not holding a shield, holding the weird finger things, trying to do every combination of button presses, and I just could not work out how to do this new sorcery spell thing that I just bought. I had no choice but to create a Reddit post asking Reddit for help on how to basically use a spell. In other words, I was forced to generate earned media for the Bandai Namco marketing budget. Here's the crux of the matter really. I didn't have the Reddit post up long because I got the answer kind of quickly, but in this one comment thread, I saw a cross-section of what I believe to be the entire Elden Ring fandom. And I mean this in a kind of good way, really. So one of the answers, really helpful. They told me the answer, offered advice straight away. Love it. Positive. 2, I saw a comment that said, someone seems unprepared for a Souls game. I mean, it was kind of funny, but yeah, didn't give me my heart, so. And number 3, figure it out or look it up. That was the comment they posted. Now I read that and I thought, no, I don't want to look it up because I'm playing a game. Like, I'm asking experts, asking people who have played the game already. If I need to Google an answer to a game, then I'm not really playing a game. Suddenly Elden Ring becomes this weird multimedia cross-platform entertainment project where I need to have Reddit open in order to play my PlayStation. This style of game, this style of forced earned media amongst the customers or non-customers is a genuine marketing tool used by modern gaming publishers. Whilst I love Elden Ring and this game is not a complaint, a part of my brain is wondering if I've missed something really important, not because I didn't find it in the game, but because I didn't Google the right thing, which in my mind is nothing to do with the game. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you liked this video, then please tell me below. If you think I'm chatting absolute bloody nonsense, then please tell me below as well. This is a brand new direction for Jam Punch storytelling as well, so subscribe if you like what I'm doing, or goodbye if you don't. My name is George, this is Jam Punch, and I will see you next time.